All right, everybody, you are all unmuted. Welcome to another fun and exciting stream of Eberron, Ashes of the Last War. My name is Obsidia, the fabulous DM of this campaign. As is tradition, we're going to go around the table introductions before I do a session recap, and we hop right into some time shenanigans. And yes, next week we'll be doing the official Obsidia birthday song for our very own Sif, the VTuber Catgirl Knight VT. So, this is also, in case people are unaware, the last week of the charity fundraiser I'm doing with New York Snark Exchange. So, if you want to go get more info, go to the Tilify link. You could type in !charity. We have raised, as of right now, over $1,100. You love to see it. Raising money for Trans Lifeline, a trans suicide prevention and support network. So you'll love to see it. Every little bit counts, and I appreciate everyone who attends the streams or donates. All right, first up we have the star of tonight, Paige the Mage.
Oh goodness, we're in it for tonight. We're in it now, boys. Hi, but I'm Yulia. I go by Royal Knight BT on both Twitch and Twitter. I love Final Fantasy, but we play a lot of other JRPGs, and I play Dungeons and Dragons with these wonderful people here. So thanks for hanging out and with the trauma. It's gonna be a good time.
Thank you, Paige. Yes, we now have the critically acclaimed single-player RPG Final Fantasy XVI that has consumed Yulia's life. Next up, we have Ilya.
Hello. My name is Lily, and I am playing Ilya. We're all really looking forward to the shenanigans tonight. It's going to be painful. Hope everybody enjoys, but otherwise, anything about me is just I just love playing D&D with these folks and just generally having a good time.
She's
doing nerdy
a
shit.
Time, having
Hell
a good
yeah.
Next up, thank you, Lily. We have the horniest member of the party, everybody's favorite MILF mommy, Euphoria.
Hey yo, that's me. Hello everyone, I'm Maris. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter as Maris Aurum. We like to do comfy cozy streams. We've been reading Sherlock Holmes stories. We've been playing Stardew Valley. It's just a nice chill time. Stop on by if that is your vibe. But for tonight, it will not be cozy. We will be inflicting a lot of pain on Paige the Mage, and it's going to be a great time. So enjoy all the sad gay vibes.
Always sad, always gay. Ashes of the Last War. Thank you, Maris. Next up, we have your pal Malrel.
Hey, I'm Malrel, and I like playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Never have truer words been spoken.
I'm also known as literally Bronze. I am a quarter bronze dragon. If you like RPGs and other cool stuff like that, then feel free to come over by my chat and follow me there, or other D&D where I usually DM several other games.
All right. Thank you, Litro. And last but never least, we have Cess. Who's currently muted if they're trying to talk.
I was.
Get in here.
I muted because someone came in my room. They're gone now. Hi. Apologies. Hey, it's your girl, Says. Played by real ass man knight Sif. Obs mentioned earlier, my birthday is next Sunday. I don't actually know if I have a plan this year. I'll try to make a little animation announcement for everyone later, but next Sunday I will be doing a thing and you can show up. No gifts required. I will just have a good time and you can all come with. Aside from that, looking forward to causing trauma as per usual, and I love you guys.
All right, thank you, Sif. We're all very hyped for birthday cat hours. So previously on Eberron, Ashes of the Last War, our party found themselves confronted with the many trapped spirits of the 7th Siren Lightbringers, who were stuck in perpetuity fighting their final battle, the Battle of Seven Spears. And as the party was engaged in brutal combat against the various commanders of that unit and the seemingly inexhaustible vigor from which they could summon, we did briefly almost visit the worst timeline when Litro decided to put all on black to see what could have happened. We determined it would have been 1 hit point away from stopping the fight. But eventually they were able to overcome their foes and break apart the spiritual energies that had accumulated, and got to talk to Captain Marin once more, who then made them go through the, some of the final moments of the commanders of the Lightbringers, who we now know to be the Ashbringers. And they talked about some of their hopes for the post-victory campaign after they took Sharn, and the efforts they would do to help shifters and other oppressed peoples. And then they got to see them all get brutally betrayed by a coalition of other armies, and one by one seeing them all die, as well as seeing Jarek getting perhaps the origin story of his incredible vendetta he held against Knight Commander Eichenwald aboard the Goliath, where he was impaled by his own blade as he was standing over his slain significant other. And with all of their apparent deaths, the party was returned to the present and had a brief farewell with Captain Marin, where he wished to hope that they would live in a world where there would be no more wars, and that he hopes that the rest of his friends were happy and having better lives because they weren't here. And he hopes that you can tell them that he loved them and stuff, and that he hopes they're well if you ever see them. Little does he know they're all irredeemable monsters. But with that, he faded, as well as all the other soldiers, back to whatever afterlife they would have waiting for them. And Malrau found the resonance locus that would take them to the Last Stand facility, the once favored weapon of Field Marshal Jarek Vrain, the magic sword Lightbringer. And it became attuned to him, and with that, they began their journey, saying goodbye to Sergeant Marcus, their lovable wight, who was down bad for Ilya's big old booty. And as they continued with their journey, Paige gathered everyone together to ask them, if they would allow her to try and look into the future, because she believes that she's powerful enough and she could find some secret to aid them in their adventures and assist them in stopping the Ashbringers once and for all, over Sess's very loud objection. But eventually everyone agreed, and they all held hands, closed their eyes, and with that, we will jump right back into it. This is going to be some limited Obsidia, talking this stream, so I hope you enjoy these wonderful people. All right. As you all close your eyes, Paige, you feel an incredible flow of if you could imagine what it is like to be in the ocean getting hit by waves, except there's no actual water, it is simply waves of energy hitting you. You find yourself amidst a flowing kaleidoscope of images and moving pictures, basically, of hundreds of thousands, perhaps millions of people and things happening all at once. And surrounded by this, you feel your compulsion to try and push through it, to find some refinement, to find the future that you're seeking. And as you do, you're reminded of those words that your teacher told you, that you are too attached to the present, and therefore you should never try to look into the future, because it will warp your perceptions, your bonds to the current reality, your bonds to the present. And as you ignore those simple words, you feel that the energy of this timeline soup that has surrounded you begins to actively pressure around you as the images become closer and closer. And you, even if you close your eyes, you can still see moving pictures of Pages and Cesses and Ilias and millions of other people going about lives looking similar, looking different, and it becomes nearly uncontrollable to the point where you lose your very sensation of self as the images start sticking to you and binding your skin and fur. And as you struggle against the very restraints put onto you, you feel yourself drawn into one of those particular visions. And with that, I will hand things off to Euphoria.
All right. Paige, when you come into this vision and things start to become a little clearer, the scene opens. You can see Euphoria, and she's standing in a place that is familiar to you. She is standing before the hunting lodge where you last saw Jubilee. Jubilee herself stands just a bit away from her mother, and she looks a little different than when you last saw her. Her dual-colored cat's eyes gaze upon her mother coldly. There's a indifferent smirk upon her sharpened fey features. She dons dark, heavy armor adorned with twisted emblems of what appears to be stag's horns, and the two just kind of stare at each other as though in a kind of standoff before Euphoria finally says, "Jubilee, it's time to come home." Jubilee gives a little scoff, says, "I am home. This is where I belong." "It isn't, though. What about your family? Your friends? What about me? I missed you, darling, and I searched the corners of the world to find a way to free you. There's nothing to free me from a pact that I willingly made." That's not true, and you know it. To that statement, Jubilee stiffens a little uncomfortably, but Euphoria continues. "And what about Paige? What about her? Was her pact made willingly?" "Of course. She came to you in desperation. She didn't know what else to do, and I helped her. She's no longer burdened by the troubles of life. She's free. You lied to her. You told her that don't you even pretend to understand what happened with Cess. I did everything I was supposed to. I found her. As she breathed her last, I offered her everything. Power, peace, an eternal life where she didn't have to fight anymore. All she had to do was come with me. I finally asked her what I was too afraid to ask before I left, but she chose. She'd rather die than be with me. But Paige understands that I could drag her sister back from the depths of the afterlife, kicking and screaming. But why would I do that? I'm done moving mountains for people who hurt me. What was it all for? Mama, what was it all for? If I can't use my power to save those I love, even now, I'm not enough. So I'm making a choice too. I'm staying. I'll serve Oberon happily. And I'll get stronger and stronger until. But Juby, baby, that's not living. I know you're scared, but I'm not scared. I'm an archfey, a powerful fey knight, commander of the Hounds of Oberon. Loving someone will always mean you're scared of losing them, baby. I know. I haven't forgotten your lessons, Mama. Love makes you weak, makes you stupid. People who love you will take advantage of you, chew you up, and spit you out before moving on to the next. But I was wrong. Juby, baby, I was wrong. It wasn't weakness to love your father, to love you or Maggie. I was scared. I was scared of being hurt again, and I didn't want you to feel the pain that I felt. I thought I was preparing you for a cruel world, but baby girl, there's so much good too, and you know it. Even I found someone who loves me, and I care a hell of a lot about her too, and you are such a hypocrite. You get to find love. You who denied me every chance of happiness. Juby, no. I didn't ask for any of this. I did everything to please you. I trained, I worked, I toiled, spent years protecting my charge, but the moment you suspected I had feelings for Kairos, you separated us because you couldn't handle the threat of gossip. You were more worried about your image, of Daddy's image, than you were of my feelings. But I didn't object when you signed me off to the adventurous life. It was probably just easier to cart me off and not think about me anymore. Daddy would have blown his stack if he knew I got a ring from Cliff to Orient, but I kept him at arm's length because I knew how disappointed you both would have been had I entertained that courtship. We only wanted what was best for you. I see the mistake now, all the mistakes I made. But you could have had something special. I didn't make you walk away from Cess. Don't you talk about her. She made her choice. And I made mine. You never let me make my own choices. You always wanted an advantageous match for your daughters. You should be pleased to know my choice made me the second most powerful being of the Wild Hunt. Juby. And I'm not giving that up. Not for anyone, especially not for you. Why are you even here, Mama? To save me or ease your guilty conscience? I made a lot of mistakes, Jubilee. I know I wasn't the mother, baby girl, but this ain't about me. You've got a life to live. I'll make you see reason. So you haven't changed at all. You still don't trust me to make my own decisions. Let's get this over with. We'll see who's right. This is your last chance to walk away, Mama. I'm not leaving you to this fate, Jubilee. And at that heel manifests in Jubilee's hand, the two continue to stare down each other. Euphoria draws her blades and exhales deeply, readying herself. Jubilee's massive hawk wings unfurl across her back. It appears to be a show of dominance, and Euphoria gives a nod to show her readiness. And in a flash, the single beat of her wings, Jubilee is upon her. Euphoria's echo appears just a split second too late. Juby dispatches it with a single effortless slice of her blade. Euphoria maneuvered to defend herself, but not before a choked gasp is heard. And you see that Juby's blade is firmly lodged through her mother's abdomen. Look at your face. You look surprised. You actually thought you'd win. With that, she withdraws heel from Euphoria's body. A sickening sound of tearing flesh, and Euphoria falls to her knees. Juby's wings fold neatly back against her, and she squats to meet Euphoria's gaze. I told you. You can't beat me. But you never listened to me. Just couldn't accept that I might actually be better than you. Euphoria can't get a word out. She gurgles and tries to stabilize herself by placing a bloody hand on Juby's shoulder, and Juby coldly brushes her off and stands, leaving Euphoria staggering till she collapses on the ground. She goes still. Juby turns to leave, but she pauses. She looks over her shoulder. Her eyes lock with yours, Paige. Huh. You've been a real nuisance. Which one are you anyway? Huh. Doesn't matter. So, Paige didn't tell you, huh? You gonna try some idiotic heroics too? You can't stop this. And you can't save Cess. So just get out of here. She'll turn, head back into the lodge, and the vision starts to fade away.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Maris. As the weight of that gaze was put on you, Paige, and the vision starts to melt, you feel hands grabbing at you, pulling at you, trying to tear you away as the memory slash future slash vision is collapsing around you. And as you do so, you very, very faintly hear the word Kamar, Kamar. But before it can get to you, you feel yourself pulled once more into the near suffocating, drowning sensation of a timeline of a thing that may very well come to pass as I hand things over to Litro and Malrao.
Paige, you suddenly appear in a very familiar place, surrounded by ash and dust. You recognize what was once a small hovel. You recognize you've seen only once before, but it's been quite recently. The home that was once his before everything went wrong. Yet this time you see not just that building, but several others, makeshift, slightly torn apart, ramshackle, and the constant banging of a hammer against metal. As you can see Malrao, his scales stained by the constant ash of this plane, constantly building away, trying to fix What seems to have been broken over and over and over again? In his constant toil, he turns to take another piece of scrap metal before he notices you. You're back. You're back after all this time. Did you fix it? No. No, of course you didn't, You wouldn't have been able to fix it. Everything is still wrong. You said you'd be able to fix it. Why didn't you fix it?
He's addressing that to Paige? Is that
Yes.
okay? I'm trying to. Do you mean you've seen me? Other me?
What do you mean? Paige, we lost. You and I, only we survived. Everyone else. You said you would go back and make sure it didn't happen. I've been waiting here this whole time, hoping that you would change it.
I'm trying to. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to prevent it from happening.
You said it wouldn't take more than a few seconds. That you would go back, make a few changes, and everything would have been as if it never happened.
How long has it been?
I don't know. They keep coming back, but not how you said. They're apparitions. They ask about you. They don't want to move on. They're still waiting on you. They're stuck here like everyone else, and I can't get them to move on because you said you would fix this. I can't do anything. And every time I'm close to where I think I can get them to move on, it happens again, and again, and again. Everything is gone, Paige. You said we would be able to fix it. That you would be able to go back and change it. But everything is still gone.
I don't know why it's not working, why it's being this way. It's not supposed to be like this. I just have to try again. I have to keep trying.
Again. It has been over 5 years. And you want to try again? Do you know how many times I've had to face those monsters? Alone! Why did you leave? Why did you abandon us? You ran away. That's what you did.
I'm so sorry, Melrose. I did what I thought was right. This is only one timeline. It doesn't have to be the right one.
Everything is gone, Paige. They've won. There's nothing but ash. What are you hoping to save? You've abandoned this place. You left me alone with the spirits of our friends. Rather than helping deal with it then, you run to the past. you going to run again?
I'm done running. I'm done being the scared little girl that I was. I'm going to be stronger than all of my past selves. And I will make this right. I'm going to make this right.
Do not let them down. And as the conversation seems to come to an end and you start to be sucked away, you notice on the horizon more monstrosities start to approach on the horizon. Malrail getting once more ready as he pulls out his weapon, seemingly familiar with this same fight.
All right. And as he rises to the challenge of a seemingly eternal battle, you begin to see it collapse as the abominations creep in closer, inhuman grins stretching across their all too human features. As you feel the hands pulling at you once more, going, Kamar, please, Kamar, as you then find yourself once more blinded in a seemingly impenetrable blackness before you find yourself almost unceremoniously flopped onto a vista of Ilias descripting.
All right. So as you kind of take a second, reeling back from the immense pressure of the hands grasping you, you find yourself in a very familiar place, just overlooking the lower district of Sharn. You see a bustling neighborhood filled with smiling faces and shifters and all sorts of people that you do know, and kind of just going about their days. Nothing seems to be too terribly wrong. At this point, you see Ilya wearing a warm white dress, noticeably a different one than usual, and she is in her spring form. As she goes ahead and kind of walks through, you see she's got a large basket with a bunch of cloths folded over it, and just is walking about with a big smile on her face. You see her waving and smiling to the people as she crosses the streets, uh, giving them a little bow and a nod, just showing a display of affection towards all the different people of Sharn. At this point, she makes a turn down a street, and along that street you see a bulletin board that has a bunch of different wanted posters for many different people. A lot of them are ones that you recognize from your time in Sharn as cold cases that have never been able to come back. Taking a closer look, one sticks out to you as you notice it has no picture or drawing of the person. It states, Wanted, Sharn kidnapper still out on the loose. If you have any information about the curse of the rhyme, please alert local law enforcement. At this point, Ilya takes a turn and walks on into the same grocery store that we had visited when we were spending our time in Sharn. She goes to the back of the store, picks up a bunch of things. You notice she takes some pasta, puts it into her bag, some sauce, other seasonings and stuff. You notice that it's a lot of groceries, like a lot of groceries. And just the whole time, she just has a smile on her face. As she goes to the clerk at the front of the grocery store, she speaks up and says, "Oh, good afternoon. I hope things have been well. I know it's been a few weeks."
Hey, Miss Ilya, always good to see you. You know, I see you're a big eater. You got a lot of friends.
Oh, of course, of course. No, Jubilee is coming back tonight, so I'm making sure to welcome her right. Uh, I know this is an important point for you, so I just also wanted to make sure to let you know every chance I get that Paige and Seth have been doing lovely. They're off adventuring most of the times, but I'll be sure to let them know to stop by next time.
Oh, it's so good to hear that your friend's coming back. I remember that little whippersnapper with her little horns and her fancy sword. But I'm glad to see she's coming back. You know, but I'm glad Seth and Paige are doing well, doing the hometown right. You know, we all rooting for them. You know, they're our treasured ones. You know better than anyone, Ilya.
No, of course. I mean, ever since that we were able to kind of settle down in the upper district, it's been a lovely time, but still have to make ends meet where they are. But just it's so lovely, and I'm so happy to be able to enjoy Sean's company at the best of my abilities.
Hey, we're always happy to have you down here, miss. You should tell, next time they're in town, they should come by. I got this new pizza I was trying to make them, but, it is what it is. But, we miss them. Always happy to see them. So y'all come down here, we go to the bodegas. Everybody's gonna be taken care of. We'll make a whole little party out of it.
Oh, that sounds so lovely. I'll be sure to try and check on them so that way I can try and figure out a time to give you enough prep, you know? It would be lovely.
Absolutely. Don't forget your favorite grocer.
Oh, of course, of course. All the rest of the folks at the mansions, they keep us occupied. It's a lot of fun, so appreciate it very much.
Hey, you keep eating as big as you do. Hey, keeping this place in business. Gonna be able to send my kids to one of them colleges one day.
Oh, that would be lovely. I hope that they're able to. In fact, here, one moment. She takes out her purse and hands and puts another extra 10 gold onto the table. If that helps at all, I would be happy to be a part of it.
Oh, you're too kind, Paige. I mean, you're too kind, Ilya. You're too kind. Hey, how about this? He takes out some baklava and puts it out
Oh,
for you.
oh, that is lovely. Thank you so much.
I know the
really
kids
should.
loved it, so
Mm, of course, I really should be heading home, though. It's got to take some time to get the pasta ready.
Hey, of course, of course. You have a good night. Tell everybody I say hi, and I hope you're doing well.
Very much so. I will be sure to relay the message. And she bows her head graciously and walks out of the grocer and quickly just continues her casual walk, picnic basket full, all the way up to the upper district of Sharn. She kind of walks along for a little while, and you see her take a turn into what is a modestly large mansion. And as she kind of walks through, there's a fountain in the center and just kind of makes her way up to the door and opens it and then closes it on the other side. The house is very well lit with a lot of ornate paintings and engravings on the pedestals and such. And but you do notice that it is extremely quiet. Ilya speaks up. I'm home, everyone. Uh, I just wanted to let you know that dinner will be ready in an hour. So please be ready and meet me down in the dining room. She just walks through and walks immediately over to the kitchen. And as she does, she is humming to herself happily and just not a care in the world, laser focused. She sets down the groceries and begins to make the dish and not taking her eyes off of anything. And even after this, it goes on for a little while, and it remains quiet aside from the noises in the kitchen. Before Ilya calls out, Dokrin, can you be sure to get everyone to come down to the dinner table? We'll be ready in 5 minutes. There's no response before she continues by saying simply, Thank you, darling. She takes her second, plates the pasta, and you count that there are 12 plates in all. She puts them on a trolley before rolling it out through the house over to the dining room. As she opens the door, it's a dimly lit room, and she just speaks up with a sassy voice, saying, "Sass, dear, can you please get the lights?" "Now don't sass me, dear." "Oh, fine, fine, I'll get it." As she turns on the lights, you see a lavish dinner table with lovely decorations. Ilya takes time going one by one lighting the candles, and the other side of the room comes into view. There are 11 separate large ice figures, finely shaped to look like humanoids, each standing in front of a chair. As she walks closer, you can see that there are 2 shifters, 2 tieflings, 2 dragonborns, 1 goblin, 1 changeling, 1 human, 1 harpy, and 1 hobgoblin. "All right, folks, dinner is served." And she takes the plates, places them in front of each of the sculptures before going and sitting back down by herself. As she sits down, she looks over at there's a tiefling one and a shifter one sitting right next to each other, and she says, "It's so lovely for you two to join us once more, Jubilee and Cess. I know you had a busy few weeks running down those baddies. I'm glad that you were able to come home safely and enjoy Mama's cooking once more." "Oh, goodness, that sounds like a right mess. Please be more careful next time." Continuing, she looks over to one of the Dragonborn's figures. "Oh, Dokrin, you're sitting next to Euphoria. I'm so glad that you two are able to get along, my little sweet peas. It means the world to me to have you both here together. I've never felt more loved in my life." And she just kind of continues going on, talking to each of the different figures. "Kaishen, when you have a moment, can you run out and get some paints? I would like to do some painting for later. I have a bit of a spark of inspiration. Oh, Malral, have you talked to Snow lately? I know you guys got off on the wrong foot, but I truly think it'd be a fabulous relationship to foster. I'm sure you can teach him many tricks, and he can teach you some too. I just want to make sure that the family gets along as swimmingly as possible. Oh, and Lily, by the way, do not mind the dishes. I'll go ahead and clean up. You deserve some relaxation after all that you've done for us. I know Paige is looking forward to you joining us for this evening's book club. Silonia, Larissa, and Asharin, so glad that you two were able to come together and find happiness. I know you've been through a lot, so just seeing your smiling faces is more than I could ever hope for." She sits there eating her dinner until it's finished, takes a second, dabs her face before sitting up, saying, "It's lovely dinner as always, darlings. Now remember, we have book club at 8. But I hope none of you stay up too late. Also, Euphoria, darling, I hope dinner was to your satisfaction. I know I'm still making progress on the cooking, so it means the world to hear the positive reinforcement from you." She walks over to the statue of the tall pink tiefling, gives it a kiss, and for the first time, you notice that there are bodies inside of each of the sculptures. Each one of the appropriate race, looking slightly different, but definitely not the people that you've grown and known to love. She sits up, takes the plates out back into the trolley before heading up to the master bedroom and changing into a negligee. She sits down at her desk and writes a little while in a journal. At this point, I will ask, is there anything you would like to say before she goes to bed?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
If not, I can move on.
Yeah, I think you need to move on. I'm not composed right now.
So you see her just finish writing, just with this wide smile on her face. As she closes the book, stands up, pushes the chair back in nice and neatly before going to lay down in her bed, smiling and drifting off into sleep. And that is the point where it starts to fade.
All right. As the image fades, Paige, you get that one last look at all of the frozen bodies of people that have seemingly somewhat lined up with your friends and family, but are definitely not them. As you have the hands pulling on you once more. Please, come on, you can't keep looking, please, come on! But you feel all of that pull away as the image dissolves around you. And as you come to a new vision, a new future, you feel that something is incredibly wrong. As you feel the darkness leave your eyes, you are greeted with a familiar but terrible sight of the skies are prismatic fractals, and the landscape seems to be a twisted, ashen wasteland stretching in perpetuity with strange creatures walking about it, and even stranger living spells bouncing around predatorily, chasing people down. And you see the towers of Sharn that you've spent your entire life in have been smashed and torn apart. You see that what's left of them has become brutally combined with flesh and steel and fading in and out of reality. And you also have this feeling of imminent collapse. It is as if you are standing in a very fragile space, that any slight move could shatter it forever, as you see this colossal sized dragon made of nothing but steel and iron, mithril and adamantium, with the large heraldry of the kingdom of Seer flying about, its breath weapon descending down and clearing miles worth, transforming them into that ashen, twisted landscape. And standing on top of it is a somewhat familiar sight where you see Silonia, except she has gone into a form of glitching that is even more extreme than anything you've seen before. Her left arm, where you've seen the prismatic energy coursing through it before, has now been fully consumed by various fissures and cracks in reality that the energy pours out of. Her hand twisted into a inhuman serrated talons. Constantly around her, reality is fragmenting and fracturing as eyes and grinning faces appear through the various fractals and mirrors that manifest around her. Her eyes have a strobing prismatic sheen to them, which occasionally will settle on to the oh so familiar emerald green that she normally has, as her hair flies wild. But she looks in pain as tears of prismatic energy pour down her skin and dissolve what they touch, as she keeps muttering, "I'm sorry, I'm so sorry, I can't control it, I can't stop it, please stop, please stop, I can't do anything." As her arms move and the head of the dragon follows with them, destroying columns of refugees fleeing away. And you see that all of the timelines that you have experienced, you briefly get a peer back into the infinite sea of images, and you see one by one they start disappearing. And the closest ones to this particular vision are dissolving as you look upon it. And the dragon will continue to fly, and Silonia will continue to be gesturing like some kind of maestro of destruction as she continues to plead to someone, presumably to help her. Is there anything you wish to do in this vision?
Is there a way I'm able to get up to her?
Yeah, you feel as if time and space are really kind of fluid, no pun intended, from everything
Okay.
else you've been experiencing.
Bump it
So
up, it up.
you can move through it in a way that seemingly defies physics, if physics actually has any power left in this world anymore.
Right. Okay. So she's gonna get as close as she can to Silonia, kind of surveying, looking over her body, her new form. And she's gonna kind of fall silent. She's gonna be kind of behind her, so not sure whether she can see her or not, but Silonia, I I didn't know this would happen. This isn't right. This is not how it's supposed to end. You can you can fight this. You can. She's gonna kind of come behind her and wrap her arms around her from behind.
As you do so, you feel if it is your own skin at this point, and metaphysically speaking, just begins to fractal and turn to small dust in the wind as you touch her, as you see her kind of flash through her own body, making echoes of herself as she looks upon you with 100 different eyes through various portions of reality. And she continues to cry as her eyes go wide, looking at you, and go, Paige, you're still alive, Paige. Please, please stop this. I can't do it.
No, I will. I will stop this. It's not gonna be this way. It's not gonna end like this. I promise you, you're going to be fine.
I can't control it, Paige. I've tried, it won't let me. And as she puts her hand on you, you see whatever temporal fabric is keeping you around just begins to dissolve, as it is seemingly shattering whatever timeline you are from. Please, I couldn't help it. They're all gone. I couldn't control the energy.
How did this happen? What what caused this?
I don't know. I don't know. It's just, I can't help it. I can't help it. It's a part of me. I keep trying and trying. And as she kind of throws down her hands, you see just a massive blast wave of energy course through, shattering the spires that was Sharn. And it's something. It's me. This is me. This is what I truly am. Please, Paige, make it stop. Make it stop. I don't want to hurt anyone else.
And every time I touch her, it just kind of dissolves almost. So
Yeah, it is if you are losing your very connection to time and reality, as if whatever is happening here is affecting other timelines aside from this one.
no. I have to make this right. I just hold on a little bit longer. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to be better. You won't suffer anymore, I promise.
Please don't leave, Paige. Please don't leave. I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want to be alone. And as she says that, you feel the hands appearing and pulling at you, trying to get you away from her, as you are being torn out of this reality as best they can, as you hear them say, come on, please. You can't stay there. It will ruin everything. Please, just come out of there. And is there one last thing you wish to say before you were forcibly torn away from this reality?
Yeah. She's going to kind of reach her hand out, trying to resist the hands at first.
They continue to pull at you, and they look kind of familiar now that you see them. Some of them are scarred, some of them have broken claws, etc., but they look very similar. You would know it like the back of your own hand, as they continue to pull you more forcefully.
Wait. Me? Is this me? Kamar?
We're trying to. And with that, you feel just one titanic pull as you are put back into the blackness once more. And finally, it gets passed over to Sif and Cess.
Sorry about that. Hold on, my dad literally just came in. Let me put this away. Okay.
We'll briefly pause before we pass on to Sif and
yeah.
Cess.
I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I had all this energy going, and then my door was open, and now it's just okay. Page, as you come to, you land flat on your keister inside of a large ceremonial hall decorated with red and gold, lit only by these torch scones to the sides of the room. As you look up the hall, not too far from you, is a throne. On either side, on one side, Kai Shen, another Larissa, and they look rather different aesthetically, but you can tell for sure it's them. They check off the same way in your head. But in between them, the one who really gets your focus, who enraptures your attention, is this woman clad in black armor, wearing a mask in the shape of a cat, like Bastet or something. From the shadows, immediately before you can respond, these golden chains fling out, and you are cuffed, and you feel your magic power limited, drained, and Kaisha and Larissa immediately draw weapons at you before the woman in the middle raises her hand. Kaisha, take your unit and add to the patrol today, please. And Larissa, I don't want any distractions. Tell Lily to hold a feast so the men are occupied. Is that understood?
Taishen will salute you as he nods, and Larissa gives you a very, uh, you know, kind of silly wink as she nods. You got it, boss.
Good. I've spoken. As for you, and then from the shadows, a hobgoblin clad in dark black clothing approaches the woman and hands her the chain binding you. You would have come with me. And she pulls on your arms, the chains on your arms, and beckons you to follow her.
What is this? Who are you?
She doesn't speak, but she leads you down into a series of tunnels, going in winding directions that make it nearly impossible to remember the way you came. If you have anything else you want to say while she's leading you on, go ahead.
She'll try to struggle against the chains, and I don't know anything about this. I haven't done anything. Who is this?
He doesn't respond, and as you're led into this one final tunnel, sloping upwards, goes on and on and on until you reach a door. As she swings it open, it reveals a messy but still beautiful study with a balcony overviewing a series of mountaintops and campfires, There's there's a cork board covered with people and information, crosses over words like Boromar. Familiar sights, a pastel painting on the wall that seems to glimmer and change shape every time you look at it, and a familiar black cat playing with a ball of yarn on the bed. The woman kicks a chair over to you. Sit.
Will you tell me what's going on?
She holds the chain up and just says, sit once more.
She'll take a deep breath and reluctantly sit down.
She takes another seat and sits across from you, holding the chain under her foot, and then she reaches over and grabs a guitar, puts that at her side, before taking the mask off and saying, You don't really know what you're doing, do you? And I'm gonna update my reactive and put the art channel so people can see. As this person, incredibly different from how you recognize her, but you know in your heart of hearts that it's Shawnee, that it's says a little off, but it is your sister in some way, shape, or form.
You've really changed.
I'd say the same to you, but I know you're not this world's Kama.
And what does that make you? What path did you take in this timeline?
Takes the guitar, starts strumming very slightly. Queen of the Monsters, the Brigand Queen, Slayer of the Boromars, the Punisher, the Extinguisher, she says, a little more somberly. What was my name where you're from?
Just says.
Oh, well, here it's Cinda. Okay, that's the name I got stuck with. So, I know you're not a threat. The sister, the Kama that was here would have rusted those cuffs off by now. But, you clearly are a little green behind the ears, so tell me. Just, I can't interrogate you. I'm not a smart person. I don't know what to ask. But I do know that you're here to ask something, right? That you're curious. I've seen you looking around the room, different things. So go ahead. Shoot your shot. Ask a question so I can figure out what the hell you're doing here.
I'm trying to think things right in my own timeline. But you, where I'm from, said you weren't going to make it. What did you do? How are you alive?
When you say alive, the guitar is strummed one note out of tune and she just puts it to her side and looks at you. So, just me then. You're not concerned about how Ilya is in this timeline, Euphoria, Malral, yourself.
Of course. No,
But
of course I am.
But you came here asking about me. You want to make things right. What is right in your eyes, huh? You want to prevent something that's going to happen?
I do. I need to take down the Ashbringers.
The Ash? I'll ask about them later, but you want to make a plan so that things go exactly the way you want it, right?
I do, yes.
And if you see anything that's wrong that you can't agree with, you'll change it, right? Even if it's someone else's decision, someone else's fate.
I have the power to make it right. I want to do it.
Power, yeah, power. You sound a lot more like Jubilee than yourself, but you want to come up with a plan where things go the way they want to, right? Where your sister lives and no one has to die, but no one can make the decision, right? You get to make that call, right? You get to make the big plan, right? With your power.
I'm just trying to help.
Help. Help the same way you wanted to help me. The same way you wanted to help Shani. The same way you wanted to protect her and coddle her and deny her, ruin her, get her killed.
No. I would never.
You know, that wasn't just a conjecture. I'm speaking from experience. Look at me. Actually look at me for once. No initial response, no twist that this is your sister. I mean, actually look at me. And if you do decide to, focus in, use your arcana and magic and, your studies and your eyes to look more closely, you see hints of celestial energy at first, but they're muddled and almost sort of like disgustingly mixed with necromancy. And then you look closer and whatever readings you got from the Says back home, the Shani back home, you're not getting here. This one feels incomplete, hollow, a husk. And then the one thing that causes you to get shocked, to widen your eyes and like a little initial response to fear, is those markings on this woman, this red-haired, red-tattooed woman. That isn't ink. It's blood that emanates a very similar energy to someone very important that you all met back home. The speaker. And she looks at your initial shock and goes, there it is. The fear, the realization that your sister ain't exactly who you thought she'd be. You didn't spend a whole lot of time with yours either, right? Tell me, do you hate her? Are you afraid of her?
No, I'm not.
You're so certain about that. Where do you think I got this blood from? You can tell that it's blood, right? You ain't that green yet, yeah?
Yeah, I can tell.
I killed a defenseless 12-year-old girl. And you're not afraid? You're not angry? You're not hateful? You're not disappointed?
I just want to know why.
It was your plan. All my life, I just wanted to support Boldre. When Mom and Dad, when they were killed by the Boromas, you and I had to get separated because no one could take care of us. There was no work that a teenager could legally do to pay for a house. You got to go off and live in a dormitory, and I settled for being a sister at Boldre. But that light in me, that God-giving hope, wasn't Boldre. Right. And we were so certain, after a few quests, talking to Ray, and eventually the speaker, that it was the Silver Flame, that I was finally gonna find my fate as this righteous paladin. But things kept getting worse. I kept going down, and you looked ahead. You peeked behind the curtain. You had no faith, you had no doubt in your mind that I was gonna die. I was supposed to realize something on a quest. We were to save the speaker. She was being sacrificed for this dark ritual by the Seekers. And you knew that I was going to be in danger. You pushed everyone. You made a plan. All I had to do was get the girl out of there. Simple as that. Not even fight. I just had to get up to that altar. But a complication here, an error there. That poor girl, who never got to make a decision in her life, finally got to make a decision. She looked into my eyes and told me. And I've had to live with that for the rest of my life. It doesn't stop there. It doesn't matter if we had the right intentions. I had her blood on me. We were hunted everywhere we went. And no matter how powerful or how far ahead into the future you looked, fate caught up with us. With me. I was killed. Buried. And the god that I got my power from, my oath, my faith, I met her. Look at me. Take a wild guess, huh? 'Cause it's not Boldre. It's no one nice. It's no one kind. Come on. I know you're smart. You have to know at least one. One that might have mattered among your journeys.
Yes, but why? What?
Why? I don't know. Okay? Bigger plans, bigger picture that I was apparently a part of. But the lack of participation, fine. It's the Fury. The Dark Six. I know they're not bad. I mean, half the monstrous folk here who work for me know they're not bad. But they're not. They made an oath with me. I made an oath with them. I get to come back, finish things, make sure that you guys got your endings, be your meal ticket. But I wouldn't get to come back. Not in a way that mattered. Shawnee stayed buried in that ground that day. But me, Cinda, I'm just her regrets, her unfinished feelings. I exist because of you. I'm not your sister. So if you want to say you hate me, that you're afraid of me, go ahead. I'm just a balled up feelings in a empty husk.
No, I don't. Whatever past me is done, whatever future events are happening, I'm going to be better than that. I'm
You
not
sure?
going to.
Do you know what the future here looks right now? You left. When things were finished, and the group finally accepted that I wasn't their Shawnee. After Jubilee left saying she was gonna find a way to bring her back, even if it meant killing me. You made a deal. You told me that you found a way that you and I could restart. You were still in denial, the same way you are now. You found a future, another time where instead of an activist, our father was a craftsman. Instead of a songstress, our mother was a housewife. You offered me to take over their lives. Start us off strong so nothing bad would ever happen. And I had to tell you that we couldn't just restart. I had to be the one to step up. And you couldn't handle that. Whatever anchor you had here, you left. Whatever anchor you had for your spell went haywire and you left. And I don't know where or when you are. I've tried reading all of her notes, understanding the magic, but I can't do that. And you're trying to convince me that you wouldn't do the same? If things really went to shit, you have the power. Does anything else matter?
Kind of looks down and her ears kind of go back. Can't say that I would do anything different. I don't know about that, self. I just know that I want to be a better person, to do things differently. I don't want to be the same scared girl I was before. I do
Cinder
want to
gets.
make.
Go ahead.
Hmm?
Sorry. Go ahead,
No,
sorry.
I just want to make things right. With you and with everyone.
Cinder gets up. Again, I'm not Shawnee, so you don't have to prove anything to me, but you're going in the right direction. And she walks up to the pastel painting where the oils are thick and viscous, and she holds a little crystal, and you see the drops form into different memories she's had. Jubilee walking off into the sunset, angry protests and shifters tossing items at her. I am just says his regrets. I mean, Shawnee's names are confusing with this time stuff, huh? I'm just her bad memories, her regrets. But over the decade or so I've lived this life, I know that regrets are meant to be fulfilled. And you see, like, the pastels and oils shift in different colors. There's a lovely memory of Lily in a bed holding triplets, Kaishen standing with Cinder patting his back, a few more hobgoblin women standing in the doorway looking on angrily. Another memory of Ilya and surprisingly Dogrin in a wheelchair next to her. Ilya accepting Cinder crying into her chest. Memory of her with Larissa on a cliff top. Of her and Asharn crying together over the Silver Flames monuments. I've learned that regrets are to be fulfilled. And if I want finality, if I want things to be done, I have to fix everything that went wrong, too. But it's not enough to make it right. I need to do right. If things come to pass, I have to roll with it. I still haven't found Jubilee. I don't know where Sylvana is. I can't help Malral conquer the morning. And I still haven't found Kamar. Even though I know Shawnee would do nothing but focus everything to save her. So here's the deal. You're going to agree to a few conditions, and I'm going to give you advice on your magic. Things that the professor couldn't figure out, and that Kamar couldn't figure out. Okay?
Of course. Okay.
First off, and I hate to be prudent, and she reaches into a drawer in the desk and pulls out a sack, and you hear it like clink against the table as it clatters on. You see a few coins spill out. Well, you hear a few coins spill out, and then she tosses an amulet onto the table or a bracelet rather, and it looks near identical to the arcane focus Says gave you. My sister left that, and I can't jump between times, but something tells me you'll probably run into her at some point. I'll pay you if you give it back to her. You can take the money. It's worth a lot here. And she puts it very gently on your lap, and you look down, and there's a pile of Electrum coins. They're worth a fortune out here, so hopefully it's worth your time. Out of character, don't use Electrum. She looks at him. Second condition, you should not tell people what you saw when you get back. That's my take. I don't want to be responsible if something happens in your timeline, okay? I don't know the people there, and I don't need that on my conscience, okay? Okay?
Of course. Yes.
All right. I can't stop you, but you shouldn't.
Mm.
Finally, this. Whatever happens in your timeline, whatever you can't prevent, whatever your sister becomes, promise me you'll accept her.
What?
I just, my reception wasn't really warm. People weren't ready to see a dead girl come from a grave. It was hell for me, and I'd rather you guys not go through that.
Yes. I I will. You, you're still
I
my
don't
sister. Right.
want to hear it. I don't know what's going on her. If she's got some living armor situation, or if she's like a, and she like sort of like shivers. It's like if she's like if she's a mystic. But just promise me, okay?
I promise.
Okay. She kicks the chair up to you and sits across from you, holds, reaches and covers your hands and where the chains wrap around them. What's the basis of all magic?
Basis of all magic?
Yep. Everyone who can cast magic uses it. Doesn't matter if it's divine, arcane, some other third thing I can't come up with.
I mean, us? Sense of self? The gods, the hearts, there's people argue about it all the time.
Well, I think I have a good answer. It's will. Faith, willpower, whatever you want to call it, but everything starts with an initiative. The desire to protect, to help, greed, lust, anger, satiation, whatever you want to call it, it's will. The same way I will for my strikes to hit harder, the same way you will for time to be different. It is will. Something that your professor could never figure out, and neither could you. I deserve a Nobel Prize for this, but listen, those anchors you guys rely on, right? Those objects?
Mm.
They're not the actual anchors, right?
Right.
It's the feelings, the bonds, the way you hop from time to time. That faith, when you see another mean another time, you're able to go there because we love you. That's all your magic is. A leap of faith. And as she lifts her hands up, you've been absentmindedly playing with your hands this whole time. I mean, you kind of can't do much else. But you notice the chains have rusted and started crumbling apart. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I can tell things with hence where you are from back home. So, but I do know to really, so I'm going to help you out. I'm going to jumpstart your feelings on this, right? Your faith, your bonds, okay? I'm going to share a moment with you, okay? And you definitely can't share this with anybody, okay?
No, I won't.
Takes both your
Just between us.
hands. Oh, good.
No, just between us.
She takes both your hands and she looks into your eyes. Anything else you want to say before?
Any other life advice you feel like sharing?
Oh, two things. One, when you see my sister, things were tense between us, so I can't really come with anything colorful to get her for you to say to get her to come back. But tell her I finally figured out how to make a grilled cheese, and I'd like her to try it. And as for life
Okay.
advice, just don't forget. It's all on you, okay? You'll make that leap of faith, whether you know you're ready or not. And if that's all, she leans her forehead towards yours to share a time vision.
Mm-hmm. She leans into it.
You cut to a small children's room. Looking out the window, there is snow. It is winter time in Sharn. It's late at night. You're looking through the eyes of a small child lying in bed, coughing, wheezing. It feels like your chest is incredibly tight, that you won't be able to breathe. There's chattering outside the doors. It's slightly ajar. It's so late. You're so thirsty and hot and sick, and it doesn't feel like you'll last till morning. But a small silhouette comes into the room. And even though the style's a little different, it is a small toddler page carrying and dragging a small little bunny plushie. She tosses it into the bed, climbs in, reaches her hand out to grab yours, and suddenly you don't feel scared or sick, just warm and safe. And as the vision ends, we cut back to the study, and there's only Cinder. She starts to tear up, but gets up, wipes her tears off, and simply mutters that she has to go make a grilled cheese. And that's it for me, Ops.
And with that page, you feel the arms pulling out as the vision begins to shake and tremble as they grab you much tighter this time, and you feel a near overwhelming compulsion of magic and a temporal bubble forming around you as you hear them say, "Stop, Kamar, just stop, please, just come with us." And they will pull and pull, and suddenly you feel your ears pop as reality pops, and you find yourself floating in a enormous library of infinite books. And you see, holding you right now are 5 people who look very familiar but different than you. They all appear to be older, more mature versions of you that have experienced wildly different lives as they are hugging you close. We did it, Kamar. We got you.
What? You did what? Did you pull me from those visions?
One of the Kamars she's pretty battle scarred. One of her eyes is a glassy white with a ticking clock hands inside of it. Scars covering her face. One of her ears has been flipped down as she smiles and goes, "Yes, we were able to get you out of there. We knew that potentially we all know what happens when you do that, and we were trying to spare you some of that."
Thank you. I suppose I guess I really am not strong enough yet to do it myself.
They all kind of smile and give you a reassuring hug as one that is, she looks like a feral version of you. Like her eyes are much more intensely predatory. Her teeth and fangs are longer and sharper. Her ears are longer and more pointed as she smiles and says, "Unfortunately, Kamar, that is one thing we all have in common. We all try to look into the future, and eventually we all wind up here."
But here, where is here? She kind of looks around at all the books.
A different Kamar, this one, just looks kind of just permanently tired, very worn out, as she kind of gestures and goes, "This is our library. We made it to help create a place for us, to think, to be able to access the timelines easier, to have more control."
What am I doing wrong? Why is it why is all of this bad things happening? Why am I not able to fix it?
chairs of like comfy cushions begin to manifest underneath you as the pages sit down. And one of them, who she looks very worn and bitter and scarred, and she goes, I wish I could tell you. I wish I could tell you. There always comes a point when a chronothurge Kamar will try and look into the future to figure it out, and that's when we realize that it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. There's no point in trying it. Every bit of future knowledge is useless. And another Kamar, this one seemingly a bit more high-spirited compared to the others goes. But that's fine. That's all right, because we figured it out. You just have to find a way to be able to go back into your own timeline and change what happens, and then you can get them to listen to you. You can get them to understand that you knew what was better, and then you can fix it. We just haven't figured out how to fix it yet.
Will they really believe me? I mean, I'm trying to do all of this. I'm trying to do this for all of them. I know I feel like there's so much doubt. I'm really trying my best, though. We all are, aren't we? We're all doing what's best for them.
The one-eyed Kamar kind of nods and goes, "It doesn't make sense. We always explain it to them. They don't trust us. They don't realize how powerful we are. And it always causes their own destruction, and we can't stop it because they won't let us stop it."
What should I do? If I can't convince them, if I can't do it on my own, then what good is time magic if it's not gonna work?
It will float over and kind of give you a hug and lean all of their foreheads against you. If they don't listen, you know you can always come here. We can work on it together. We can figure out how to correct that timeline. It won't matter how long it takes, because we'll be able to fix it, and it won't be like any time passed at all.
I see. That as long as it would fix it, I don't see why not. I mean, especially if we made this place, it's incredible. I never knew I could do this.
They kind of smile a bit as they, kind of look at you, and they go, "There's one thing I wish I could have told myself, which you are far greater than you give yourself credit for. And you don't need to be so afraid. In time, you'll be just like us. You'll be powerful. You'll see all of the things that you wish you could have seen earlier, and we can fix it. It just takes time." And they all kind of giggle a bit to each other.
You're right. It does take time. And time is what I have. It's all I have. I'm gonna use it to the best of my abilities. going to make you all proud. To make myself proud.
One of the bitter page looks at you and goes, none of them will tell you, but it won't work. You might as well just stay here. We always try. It doesn't work.
I'd be doing my friends a disservice. I'd be doing my sister a disservice if I didn't at least try.
But it doesn't matter. They're going to die. You can't stop them. It's honestly the best thing you can do is just get a head start on it. We've all realized that we can't fix it our first time around. That's what brought us all here. So why bother? Just stay until we can. You're just gonna watch your friends die. You're gonna watch Cess die. We all have watched Cess die. She always dies. Every time, every chronothurge, she always dies no matter what we do. And so we need to stop it. But we can't ever do it in the then. We can only do it in the now, which will be the then of the past.
It's got to be something we haven't done. A timeline we haven't seen. A course we haven't taken, and I want to be that course. I want to be confident in myself. I'm not going to doubt myself any further. Not anymore.
One of the very tired, very sad looking Kamar looks at you and goes, you know, we've been here a long time. We've seen so many variations. I'm sure you've likely wound up in our own timelines. What could you possibly do differently than we have? We've all seen it. We've all done a different path. We've all tried to cheat it somehow, and it never works. And so that's why we leave. What do you have that's so great that's going to be different than anything we've tried before?
She kind of pauses for a moment before she looks down at the bracelet that Cess gave her. I have will. I have a stubborn and beautiful sister. I have a strong and courageous Malrel. I have two beautiful mother-like friends, Ilia and Euphoria. I have Silonia. Everyone who's been encouraging me and pushing me to do my best. I have them, and I have me. And I know I can do it. We can do it.
They look at each other and kind of, there is less of the consolation you've been getting up to this point and more of just kind of a look of sadness and concern. And like, the one-eyed Kamar looks at you and goes, you know that it's going to hurt. If you try and help, if you try and use your will, you're going to suffer for it. As she kind of gestures to all of her own scars and her missing eye. Goes, the more deeply we care, the more we lose to try and save it. Are you really prepared for that?
I am. More than I have ever been in my entire life. I am. Whatever happens, I'm going to make it through. We all are.
The feral Kamar kind of looks at you and goes, I wish I was that confident when I was your age. I wouldn't have made that pact.
It's taken a lot, but let's just say I've had, you know, other me's lead me in the right direction.
The more upbeat one kind of looks and goes, Is your Cess is your Shami still alive?
She is, yes.
All of them look sad. I'm so sorry you're gonna have to go through that.
I don't know how I'll react. I feel like I'm prepared, but at the same time I'm not. I don't want to lose her.
More upbeat one kind of looks sad for a moment as she goes, We know. I wish I could have handled it better. I tried too hard to keep her, and all that I was left with was a hollow shell, a mockery of everything that she used to be. And I would think to myself after, when I fix this, I'm going to do better. She I need to be able to save her. I can't allow her to become something simply because I want to keep her around. I I don't know if you'll have to deal with something like that, but I hope you realize how precious she is, but you can't make her what you want her to be.
You're right. I know that. I know that whatever happens, it'll be her decision. It won't be mine. I'm I'm learning that I can't control everyone's future.
They hold you close again. And
I'll do what I can.
the more bitter, battle scarred Kamar kind of looks at you and goes, You have the most terrifying future. If this isn't handled right, there won't be a future for anyone.
Then I'll just have to make it right. I'm going to. Everyone's counting on me, and I'm counting on myself. I can't afford to lose.
The the or the feral Kamar kind of nods and goes, um, have you been able to find Juby yet?
Jubilee? No, we tried to be in contact with her a couple times, but we haven't been able to do so. Can we? Is she?
She looks at you and goes, I hope that I know I know you're not going to tell them what you saw, but try to please help Euphoria be less stubborn than she is now. It won't work. What she has planned won't work the way she is. She has to do it better. She has to be better. She has to be the mom that Jubilee always wanted. I know what happens when she falls short of that. As her longer, almost fae-like cat features kind of droop.
She'll nod. Yes, I will.
They will look at you once more, and the one-eyed Kamara will go, well, there's one thing that sisters always do, is they stay together and they support each other. And I guess we're sisters to each other in our own way. So
Yes, so. Yeah.
If you're not going to listen to our advice to stay here, I'm honestly gonna be hopefully surprised that you don't wind up here again. And we'll be cheering you. We'll be with you always. This place is as much your home as anywhere else in your timeline. And if you genuinely think that you can fix this where we haven't, knowing that all of this is going to disappear if you screw up, because there's something about your timeline that isn't right, well, we will be with you every step of the way. Isn't that right, Kamars? And they do various kind of ranging from bitter grunting to, kind of more cheerful, yeah. How did you put it? You've got the will to change things? To make your will manifest in the world? I like that. Whoever told you that was very, very insightful person.
They certainly were. Thank you, all of you. I feel like I know what I have to do now. She'll kind of lean forward and kind of headbutt each one of them.
They'll take it in turn and smile. I know that you may not have wanted to meet us under these circumstances, but we really happy that we could meet you, and honestly, I wish I was as strong as you were, or you are when I was your age. And they kind of give you a smile as they headbutt you back.
I've had a lot of encouragement Had a lot of wonderful people on my side. I'm going to be a better person than what I was. Not going to be afraid anymore. Maybe I'll see you again. I don't know, but if we do, it'll be on good terms. I have to make...
Sorry, you can go first.
Nope. I'm ready to go back.
All right. We are going to leave a bit of ourselves with you to help just empower you. We want to see you succeed more than anyone. Will you accept us?
Yes, I will.
And as they put their hands on you once more, you feel a vast temporal energy descend inside of you as you feel years of experience, tragedies and travails, loves and hopes pour into you. And it's invigorating. You feel so much more in sync with time itself, as if you now know how to view the stream correctly. And each of them fades a bit as they smile, and you feel their hands just push you gently, and you feel the very thin membrane that was keeping you here just ever so slightly snaps, and you find yourself sitting amidst a circle of your friends in the middle of a magically corrupted hellscape. And everybody, as you open your eyes, you look at Paige. She looks a little differently than she did before. How would you describe yourself, Paige?
Right. So, coming out of the dreamscape, she looks a little bit different. Her hair's a little bit longer and more poofed. She doesn't have the braids as she used to. And instead of that ashy brown blonde that she had before, it's now turned completely white. Her eyes are a little more sullen. She looks a little bit more aged. But her back's straight. And she seems more confident about herself as she opens her eyes. And looks about everyone with a pained but happy smile.
You're
What's-
so old.
That's very rude to say.
I'm sorry. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and I was prepping for lots of things, but not. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta update.
How far in the future did you go, Paige?
The right word of choice is mature, not old. It's impolite.
Well, that is true. I think an explanation's in order. I mean, it's a good look.
How long were you gone, Paige?
It's a lot of questions and a lot of things I would love to explain, but I think I found the answers I was looking for.
Malbrow kind of like elbow Cess. This means you're the younger sister now.
A white hair does not mean age.
She has proof now. God damn. So, does this look come with, I'm guessing whatever happened that you can't tell us about made you stronger?
Mm, more knowledgeable, I suppose.
I mean, those words are kind of synonyms for you, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. I, I feel different, but at the same time, not really. Does it look strange?
Says reaches over and grabs your hands. No. You look, I mean, you changed out of your school uniform, which was long overdue in my opinion, but despite all that, when I look at you, it's still you. Okay? I'm just happy you're safe.
You look gorgeous, darling.
Thank you. I feel good. I feel like I can take on anything with all of us.
And we will take on everything.
Did
Together.
you
Together.
see what the future had in store?
A lot of different ones. Some of which I don't intend to repeat. There weren't a lot of specifics, but we just have to do our best. I feel like the way we're going now is the right way. Just have to make sure to stick together. We can't have any doubts between us. If we're going to make this work, we have to believe in ourselves.
Nice
want
hearing
us
that
to
from
get-
you. I'm sorry.
Thanks. I want to make this. I want us all to make it out alive. We have to be the ones to end this.
Well, what are we waiting for?
I guess there's no time like the present.
World's not going to save itself. Let's get to it.
One thing. And Ilya's going to reach her arms around everybody as best as she can. Is just going to try and pull everybody in for a head touch hug
Let's
circle.
go.
Yay.
The group head rubs.
You all feel the incredibly uncomfortable static coming off of Silonia.
It's our static now.
Our static. Well,
Malrel just, as everyone's being hugged, Malrel just stands up and everyone's lifted like a foot off the ground.
We're all here. And we will all stay together. And we will all find out how to greet the next day as a group.
Yes. We can do it.
And we will do it.
We're all in this together.
Could we get out of this hug now?
Yeah, we should get going.
I don't think I can breathe.
Just pressing the wrinkles out of her jacket.
Gotta look cool.
Yeah.
I would gladly have continued the hug for minutes. But if you all want to leave, then fine.
I mean, I can walk and carry all of you like this, but...
No, I'd like having my own sense of autonomy.
Mm,
But yeah, you guys wish to hit the road again?
I do want one little convo with the sister before we.
Okay.
I'm assuming we're ending.
Very soon, yes.
While they're starting to walk, says grabs her sister by the pinky and pulls her aside real quick.
Huh?
I'm sorry for objecting before.
No, you were only looking out for me. I'm not mad, Sus.
It's
You're
just.
Hmm?
I know things are tough between us, and recent news has not helped it in the slightest, but she holds her hand, just despite everything, okay? I'll always love you, okay?
I love you too, Sus. No matter what happens.
And they share one last head nuzzle before forming back up in the group.
All right. As you guys continue off through the wasteland, you, after many hours of walking, you eventually get to the ashen sands turn into a sea of bones, stretching in perpetuity, as you see small crab-like creatures of flesh and steel skittering about on them, carrying chunks of flesh, chunks of metal, as they all lead towards an enormous tower amidst the sea of bones. And this, you finally feel, based on the resonance of the Lightbringer, this must be the last stand. And as its enormous doors remain shut with a symbol of House Vidalis and a symbol of the Kingdom of Seer, we will end here for tonight. As we begin next time, Quest 10, Sins of the Father. All right, everybody.
Oh my god.
Today was happy. But I hope everybody had fun. I hope all of my players had fun torturing poor Yulia.
I've been so emotionally compromised by everything.
I feel like I could have gone harder. I should have gone harder.
No, we all have to make sure it was.
Everything hurt.
If you haven't done so already, go please check out all of these wonderful players. They're all amazing streamers in their own right. They're very funny, very silly. They're less sad on their own channels than they are on mine. Also, if you haven't done so already, please go check out that Tilify under !charity. We're raising money for this week is the last week for Trans Lifeline. We've raised over $1,100 so far. You'll love to see it. So please, spread the word, feel like donating, extra awesome. But otherwise, just happy to have you. I'll be back here with several of these people on Wednesday, where we're going to be doing the exciting, dramatic conclusion of our pirate adventures in Iron Kingdoms. So please feel free to come on by at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. And if you haven't done so already, please give me a follow here on Twitch, give me a sub over on YouTube, give me a follow on Twitter, and you can join my Discord, the Eternal Citadel, and be a part of my incredible community. We are going to go raid a very cute tiefling, Calliope, Eolande. She's playing literally the greatest game of all time, Metal Gear Rising. So I'm presuming it is her first time, and she seems to be adequately pulling the appropriate number of anal beads for it. So let's go send her some love. And yeah, we'll see you on Wednesday. Have a good night, everybody. Let me type in. Not yet. Not yet. We're not in bye phase yet. I forgot to type in the name of the person.
No. No, we missed time to buy. No, they're gonna know we're all fakers.
There we go. Alrighty, we got 7 seconds before we go. Alright, everybody. I hope you have a great night. Bye.
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 Everyone's bye.